I thought I knew my style. After all, I've been dressing myself for more than 6 decades, and I've learned what works for my body, my lifestyle, and my confidence. But one afternoon, my granddaughter looked at my outfit, smiled sweetly, and said, "You should try dressing like me for a week. It'll make you feel young again." That one sentence sent me into an unexpected fashion experiment that I'll never forget. At first, the idea felt exciting. I imagined blending my timeless pieces with a few youthful touches, maybe discovering some hidden anti-aging fashion secrets along the way. I pictured myself in elegant outfits for mature women, but with a playful twist. Something that could bridge the gap between 60 and 20 without losing my identity. But the reality? Well, let's just say the mirror didn't always agree. The first morning, I slipped into my Gen Z starter kit, neon colors, ripped jeans, and chunky sneakers, and instantly felt like I'd stepped into someone else's life. These strangers looked at me differently. Some smiled, others seemed puzzled, and I began to wonder, was I truly embracing confidence, or was I hiding behind trends that weren't mine to own? That question stayed with me all week because fashion isn't just about clothes. It's about how they make you feel, how they tell your story without a single word. And when you've spent decades curating a style that reflects your wisdom, experience, and elegance, tossing it aside for a week is more than just a wardrobe change. It's an identity experiment. By the end of day one, I had already learned one surprising truth, but this was only the beginning. The following days would push me further out of my comfort zone, and sometimes straight into luxury fashion over 60 nightmares I never saw coming. And that's where the real story begins. Day one, too much neon. The morning of day one felt like the first day of school. If school involved highlighter pens exploding in my closet, my granddaughter had laid out my look for the day: a neon green blouse, hot pink trousers, and sneakers with fluorescent orange laces. She said it was bold, vibrant, and youthful. I said it looked like a traffic cone and a pack of Skittles had a baby. Still, I was committed to the experiment. I buttoned up the blouse, stepped into the pants, and caught my reflection in the mirror. For a brief moment, I thought, well, maybe this is anti-aging fashion in action. Bright colors, fresh energy, this could work. But then I noticed something unsettling. The neon shades seemed to pull every bit of warmth from my face. My skin looked sallow, the fine lines around my eyes suddenly more pronounced. Instead of glowing, I looked washed out, as if the clothes were wearing me instead of the other way around. When I stepped outside, I felt the eyes. Some were amused, some curious, a few downright startled. At the coffee shop, the barista squinted before asking for my order, and I wondered if it was the sun streaming in or my outfit blinding her. Neon, I quickly realized, is not forgiving. While it can look incredible on youthful, even-toned skin, for women over 60, it often highlights the very features we'd rather keep in soft focus. Here's the thing. Color can be a powerful tool in fashion, especially in elegant outfits for mature women. Soft jewel tones, rich neutrals, and even certain pastels can create a natural lift, making the complexion appear brighter and more youthful. Neon, on the other hand, demands attention, sometimes for all the wrong reasons. By lunchtime, I was tugging at my blouse, wishing for the gentle sophistication of my favorite navy silk shirt. The neon made me feel like I was trying too hard, like I was chasing a version of youthful that didn't belong to me. And that, I realized, is the slippery slope of following trends without tailoring them to who you are. If there's one takeaway from day one, it's this: bold color can absolutely be part of your wardrobe, but it should complement your skin tone, not compete with it. You can achieve vibrancy without screaming for attention. Think emerald greens, deep corals, or a crisp, clean white paired with gold jewelry. These shades flatter, uplift, and whisper elegance instead of shouting it. Still, the challenge had only just begun. If neon had pushed me outside my comfort zone, what came next would practically launch me into another galaxy. Because day two wasn't about color, it was about denim. and not the kind I was used to. Day 2. Ripped jeans everywhere. If day 1 was a neon explosion, day 2 was a trip back to high school. Only this time, I was the transfer student who clearly didn't belong. My granddaughter presented me with a pair of light wash, heavily distressed jeans. The knees were completely gone. Threads dangled like loose spaghetti. She beamed and said, "Trust me, ripped jeans are everything right now." I slid them on and immediately thought about the premium denim I'd been wearing for years. Soft, tailored, luxury fashion over 60 that skimmed my figure and made me feel pulled together. These jeans, they felt like they'd survived a tornado, and not in a chic, editorial way. The fit wasn't terrible. In fact, the high waist was surprisingly flattering, but the gaping holes at the knees made my legs feel exposed, and the frayed edges drew the eye in ways I wasn't entirely comfortable with. In my 20s, I might have called it effortless cool. At 60 plus, it felt like I'd borrowed pants from someone who forgot to finish sewing them. As I ran errands that morning, I noticed the way people looked, not with the quiet admiration I feel when I'm wearing well-cut trousers or a beautifully draped skirt, but with curiosity. Some younger women smiled knowingly, as if to say, "Welcome to the club." A few older women raised their brows, perhaps wondering what possessed me. Here's the truth. Denim can absolutely be a powerful tool in anti-aging fashion. A well-structured pair of jeans can lift your shape, elongate your legs, and pair seamlessly with elegant outfits for mature women. But distressed denim, especially when it's overly dramatic, can be tricky. The rips and frays create visual chaos, which can distract from your natural elegance. By midday, I tried pairing the jeans with a crisp white blouse and a tailored blazer, hoping to balance the casual distress with some polish. It helped, but I still felt like the jeans were the loudest part of the conversation. And that's a lesson in itself. When one element of your outfit shouts, it's hard for anything else to be heard. If I could rewrite day 2, I'd choose dark wash denim with minimal distressing, maybe a subtle fray at the hem or a small knee slit. That way, I could enjoy a nod to the trend without sacrificing the sophistication I value. By the end of the day, I was eager for something that felt more like me. But day 3 would take more like me and flip it upside down. Because next came a style I hadn't worn in decades, the crop top. Day 3, crop tops and clingy fits. By day 3, I thought I had seen it all: neon, ripped denim, curious stares from strangers. But my granddaughter had saved something truly youthful for the midweek challenge: a cropped, body-hugging knit top paired with equally clingy leggings. Now, I haven't worn a crop top since the Reagan administration, and back then, my midsection looked a little different. Today, I embrace my shape and my story, but I also know the kind of silhouettes that make me feel empowered rather than self-conscious. This outfit, well, let's just say it tested every ounce of my confidence. The top ended just above my waistline, revealing a sliver of skin every time I moved. The fabric clung to every curve, and while I believe beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, I also believe that elegant outfits for mature women work best when they balance structure with softness. Clingy pieces can highlight areas we'd rather not spotlight, especially for women over 60 who value a polished, anti-aging fashion approach. When I walked into the grocery store, I felt a wave of self-awareness. I tugged at the hem of the top, trying to coax it lower, wishing for the graceful drape of my favorite silk blouse or the forgiving cut of a wrap dress. It wasn't that I disliked my body, it was that the outfit didn't reflect the version of myself I wanted the world to see. Clothing should tell your story, and my story isn't about keeping up with a 20-year-old's wardrobe. It's about blending modern style with timeless sophistication. There are so many alternatives that deliver comfort and confidence. A tailored knit set with a longer hem, high-waisted trousers with a tucked-in blouse, or a sleek midi skirt that skims rather than squeezes. These choices still nod to contemporary trends without sacrificing the elegance that comes with life experience. By lunchtime, I was ready to swap the crop top for something with a little more coverage. But I stuck with it because this was an experiment, and experiments aren't always comfortable. And in truth, the discomfort was teaching me something. Style isn't just about what's in, it's about what makes you feel like yourself. I went to bed that night thinking the worst was over. But day 4 had a new kind of challenge waiting for me, one that involved enough accessories to decorate a small Christmas tree. Day 4, over the top accessories. If day 3 was about feeling overexposed, day 4 was about feeling overwhelmed. My granddaughter appeared at breakfast with a jewelry box that could have doubled as a treasure chest. Today is all about statement accessories, she said with a grin. Before I could protest, she was draping me in oversized earrings, layering 3 chunky necklaces, and slipping half a dozen bangles onto each wrist. I've always believed that the right accessory can elevate an outfit. In fact, accessories are one of the easiest ways to incorporate anti-aging fashion elements, like a silk scarf in a flattering color, a structured handbag, or tasteful gold hoops that bring light to the face. But there's a fine line between statement and spectacle, and that morning I was teetering on the wrong side of it. As we left the house, the necklaces clinked together with every step, the bangles jangled like a percussion section, and the oversized earrings tugged at my lobes. I could feel people's eyes scanning from my shoes up to my neck, not because they admired the look, but because they weren't sure where to look first. The accessories were competing with each other and winning against me. This was a reminder that accessories should complement, not dominate. In elegant outfits for mature women, balance is everything. A single bold piece, like a statement necklace with a simple black dress, or large gold hoops paired with a soft updo, can add drama without drowning the wearer. But stacking too many centerpieces in one look creates visual noise, which can overwhelm both the outfit and the person wearing it. By midday, I had quietly slipped off 2 necklaces and half the bangles. The effect was immediate. My face looked less crowded, my movements felt lighter, and my confidence started to return. I wasn't disappearing under my accessories anymore. I was wearing them, not the other way around. If there's a lesson here, it's that less truly can be more. For women over 60, accessories should highlight our best features, draw attention upward, and add sophistication without shouting for it. A well-chosen accessory feels intentional. Too many feel accidental. That evening, as I hung the jewelry back in its box, I couldn't help but think about how much more comfortable I felt when I reclaimed a little control over the styling. But I wouldn't have much say in day 5's look, because next, my granddaughter was about to introduce me to the world of chunky sneakers. Day 5, chunky sneakers take over. By day 5, I thought I was ready for anything. Then my granddaughter walked in holding sneakers that looked like they had been stolen from a moon mission. They were enormous, white with thick platform soles, splashes of neon, and enough padding to double as pillows. "These are the it shoes right now," she said. "They'll make you look trendy and young." Now, I've always believed in the value of comfortable shoes. At 60 plus, foot health is non-negotiable. But there's a big difference between shoes that support you and shoes that make you feel like you're carrying bricks on your feet. The moment I slipped them on, I felt about 2 inches taller and about 10 pounds heavier in each leg. Walking down the street, I noticed something interesting. Younger people didn't bat an eye. To them, chunky sneakers are everyday wear. But I caught a few sideways glances from women my age, and I could almost hear their thoughts. Why is she wearing those when a beautiful pair of leather loafers or low-heeled ankle boots would look so much more elegant? Here's the truth. Chunky sneakers can work for women over 60, but only if they're balanced with elegant outfits for mature women. Wearing them with oversized sweatshirts and ripped jeans risks tipping into trying too hard. But pairing them with tailored trousers, a fitted blazer, or even a midi skirt can create a modern, age-defying contrast. That's the heart of anti-aging fashion, mixing comfort with refinement. The problem was that this particular pair seemed designed to shout rather than blend. The neon accents fought with my outfit, the bulky soles made my feet look twice their size, and after 2 hours, my ankles started to ache from the extra weight. Yes, they were on trend, but they didn't make me feel like the best version of myself. By afternoon, I swapped them out for my trusty leather sneakers, still modern, still comfortable, but far more streamlined. The difference was night and day. My stride felt lighter, my legs looked longer, and my outfit finally had harmony again. If I took anything from day 5, it's that trends aren't all or nothing. You can nod to what's current without letting it overpower your personal style. Sometimes the most luxury fashion over 60 choice is the one that quietly supports you rather than steals the spotlight. Little did I know day 6 would be the biggest turning point yet, not because of what I wore, but because of what I learned about myself in the process. Day 6, 7. Lessons from a week of dressing young. By day 6, I could feel the finish line. I'd survived neon colors, ripped jeans, crop tops, over-the-top accessories, and moon-sized sneakers. My granddaughter's final 2 looks for the week were a mix of everything: layered trends, bold colors, and silhouettes designed for someone who'd never uttered the words knee pain in their life. On day 6, I wore a patterned mini dress with oversized sleeves and a belt that seemed determined to sit exactly where I didn't want it. The dress wasn't terrible, it actually had potential. But paired with the chunky sneakers from day 5 and a rainbow tote bag, it felt like a costume. I caught myself wondering, if I passed myself on the street, would I think, she looks amazing, or she's trying too hard? That question stuck with me all day. By day 7, I decided to approach it differently. Instead of simply following instructions, I asked my granddaughter if I could style the final outfit myself, using some of her trendy pieces but blending them with my own wardrobe. She agreed. The result was a turning point. I took her oversized denim jacket but layered it over a sleek black turtleneck and high-waisted tailored trousers from my closet. I added my classic leather loafers and a single gold chain necklace. Suddenly, the trend didn't feel like an invasion, it felt like an accent. I was wearing anti-aging fashion my way, incorporating just enough youthfulness to feel fresh while keeping the sophistication that comes with age. That's when I realized the deeper lesson. You don't have to reject trends, and you don't have to accept them blindly either. The real art of elegant outfits for mature women lies in knowing what to take, what to leave, and how to make every choice tell your story. Style should be a conversation between who you've been, who you are, and who you want to be, not an imitation of someone else's chapter. By the end of the week, I felt lighter, not because my wardrobe had transformed, but because my perspective had. I understood that fashion isn't about chasing youth. It's about dressing in a way that lets your confidence speak louder than your clothes. Still, as I folded the neon blouse and the ripped jeans to return them, I smiled. This experiment had pushed me out of my comfort zone, given me a few laughs, and reminded me that age is not a style limit, it's a style advantage. And with that, I knew exactly how I wanted to share this journey, because the story doesn't end here. Conclusion: what this week really taught me. When I started this week-long experiment, I thought it was going to be a lighthearted challenge, just a fun way to connect with my granddaughter and maybe discover a few fresh ideas. But somewhere between the neon blouse, the ripped jeans, the clingy crop top, and those moon-sized sneakers, I realized it was about more than just clothes. Fashion is deeply personal. It's the language we use to tell the world who we are before we say a single word. For women over 60, That language is rich with history, confidence, and a sense of self that only comes with time. And while anti-aging fashion and elegant outfits for mature women can absolutely draw inspiration from younger generations, they work best when they're filtered through our own lens, one shaped by experience, not by trends alone. The real takeaway from this week is that you don't need to dress like you're 20 to feel youthful. You can take elements from current trends, a pop of color here, a modern cut there, and blend them with your own timeless pieces to create something uniquely yours. That's where luxury fashion over 60 truly shines, not in chasing every new fad, but in choosing quality, fit, and design that elevate your presence. I also learned that confidence comes from comfort, not just physical comfort, but the comfort of knowing you're presenting your authentic self to the world. And that authenticity, it's far more attractive than any trend. So if you've ever looked at a fashion magazine or a 20-year-old's Instagram feed and thought, maybe I should try that, my advice is simple. Try it, but on your own terms. Take what works for you, leave what doesn't, and never apologize for choosing elegance over gimmicks. Because in the end, fashion isn't about looking younger. It's about looking like the best version of yourself at any age. And if you enjoyed this journey, I have a feeling you'll love what's coming next. In my next video, I'll share 7 fashion trends that instantly make women over 60 look 10 years younger, and this time no neon.